Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are tackling something that I think almost everyone can relate to, that feeling of being totally drained, totally unmotivated. We're going to break down why it feels like your own brain is working against you, and more importantly, lay out a really clear, science-backed plan to rebuild your drive from the ground up. You ever have those days where every single task, even the small stuff, just feels like this monumental effort? You know exactly what you should be doing, but you just cannot find the energy to even start? Well, if that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone, and it's probably not for the reason you think. Let that sink in for a second. This idea is so powerful because it completely reframes the problem. It's not a flaw in your character. It's a hiccup in your brain chemistry. This isn't some moral failing, it's a biological issue that actually has a biological solution. So let's get into how it all works. So where does this whole thing even begin? Well, it starts with that little twitch, that constant urge to just check your phone, grab a sugary snack, whatever it is. We spend our days chasing these little tiny hits of satisfaction, but what we don't realize is we're actually digging the hole deeper. Okay, this is the first big myth we have to bust. We always hear dopamine called the pleasure molecule, but that's not quite right. It's really the molecule of pursuit. It's the thing that gets you up off the couch to go get the thing that brings you pleasure. When your dopamine system is healthy, you just do things. And this is the heart of the problem, right here. Modern life is just a minefield of these things called supernormal stimuli. Every one of these, a little like on Instagram, a can of soda, leveling up in a video game, it gives your brain this huge, unnatural jolt of dopamine. It's way more than our biology was ever designed to handle. And, what goes up must come crashing down. So what is actually happening up there when you're stuck in this cycle of huge spikes and then these awful crashes? It's not just a feeling, it's a real physical neurochemical change that's taking place. See, your brain's pretty smart. When it gets flooded with these insane amounts of dopamine all the time, it does the logical thing. It tries to protect itself by turning down the volume. It literally starts removing dopamine receptors. So suddenly that little phone notification that used to give you a buzz, now it does nothing. You end up needing more and more and more stimulation just to feel okay, just to feel normal. This slide just puts it all in perfect perspective, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the stuff that gives you a nice, healthy, steady drip of dopamine. And on the right, you've got their modern, supercharged, over-the-top cousins. And when your brain gets used to the crazy intensity on the right side of the screen, all the normal, healthy stuff on the left starts to feel, well, kind of boring. Okay, so that's the bad news. Your dopamine system has basically been hijacked. But the good news, and it's really good news, is that you can absolutely fix it. There's a clear 7-step protocol that can help you rebuild your entire system from the ground up. And here's our roadmap. We're going to walk through every single one of these 7 steps, from dopamine fasting to cold showers. We'll break down exactly what you need to do and, just as important, why it works. All right, step 1, dopamine fasting. Now, this isn't about locking yourself in a dark room, not at all. It's simply about taking 1 day a week to intentionally cut out all those high dopamine, supernormal things we just talked about. So you put the phone away, you skip the junk food, you avoid social media, and you give your brain's receptors a chance to reset. It's like letting the volume dial slowly turn itself back up so that normal everyday life starts to feel rewarding again. Okay, this one is so simple, but it is incredibly powerful. The goal is, within about 30 minutes of waking up, get yourself outside for 10 minutes. No sunglasses. That direct morning light hits your eyes and basically sets your body's master clock, your circadian rhythm, which then helps regulate your dopamine levels for the entire day. And check this out, the results are just staggering. Research from Stanford shows that this one simple habit can boost your baseline dopamine by a full 50% all day long. That is a huge return for just 10 minutes of your time. All right, now this one might sound a little intense, but just hear me out. We're talking about things like finishing your shower with 30 seconds of cold water, or if you're really brave, taking an ice bath. That initial shock to your system triggers this really powerful and, this is the key part, sustained release of dopamine. And look at that number, a 250% increase. But the magic here is that it's not a spike that's followed by a crash. It's a slow, steady rise in dopamine that can keep you focused and driven for hours afterward. Next up, you gotta give your brain the right fuel. Think of it like a factory. To make dopamine, your brain needs a specific raw material. It's an amino acid called tyrosine, and you get it from protein. So by starting your day with about 30 grams of protein, Think eggs, Greek yogurt, a protein shake. You're basically stocking the factory shelf so it has what it needs to produce motivation all day long. Now, this next habit is a sneaky one. It's a silent killer of motivation that most of us don't even know we're doing. It's called dopamine stacking, and it's when we combine multiple sources of stimulation all at the same time. I mean, seriously, think about it. When was the last time you were just drinking a cup of coffee? Or were you also scrolling your phone, listening to music, and checking emails? When we stack all these things, we're teaching our brain that it needs that crazy level of input just to function. The fix is simple, but it's not easy. Do one thing at a time. We all know exercise is great, but for rebuilding our dopamine system, the intensity really matters. When you push yourself to about 80% of your maximum effort, you're doing something incredible. You are teaching your brain to release dopamine in response to effort. You're literally rewiring yourself to find the struggle rewarding instead of just passively consuming things from a screen. And our final step, actively practice delaying gratification. It's so simple. Every time you get that impulse to check your phone, to grab that cookie, just intentionally wait. Wait for 5 minutes. Every time you do that, you're not just resisting an urge. You are actively strengthening the part of your brain responsible for self-control, the prefrontal cortex. It's like doing a bicep curl for your willpower. So you put in the work, you followed these 7 steps. What's the payoff? Well, you start to shift from a life of constantly chasing cheap, artificial hits to a life where you are actually earning and building your own motivation from within. And this is what that looks like. You give it about a month of consistent effort, and you'll notice real, tangible changes. Your focus gets sharper. Your mood doesn't swing so wildly. You actually wake up with energy. Tasks that used to feel impossible now seem totally manageable. You stop looking for something outside of you to get you going. Ultimately, what this all comes down to is getting off the hamster wheel. This isn't about another quick fix or a productivity hack. It's about fundamentally changing your relationship with the world around you. It's about building a sustainable system that lets your brain work the way it's supposed to. And this final quote just says it all, doesn't it? Real, lasting motivation, the kind that gets you through tough projects and helps you build a life you're proud of, it's not found in a notification. It's not found in a snack. It's built day by day through your own effort and your own choices. The power to get your drive back is right there in your hand.